as you can see, I have been knitting for a while now. I have made something that's probably a couple feet long, and you can always measure it against yourself, wrap it around your neck, see how long you want it. And I was actually making this scarf for my friend's daughter, this is her school colors. She's in high school. These are her high school colors of blue, white, and orange. So I've been sort of just teaching myself how to switch colors, because there's not a lot of instruction on that either. So this is what I do to switch colors. Right now we've finished with a white layer, and I want to switch colors to an orange layer. This actually works really good with hats too. If you want to make, let's say you want to make a Santa hat with a white brim, you can do the brim one color. Then I'll show you how to switch colors, and then you do red top, so it would be like a Santa hat. So this is good for sporting scarves or whatever. Oh, I was going to show you. This is my first scarf. If you get a yarn with a variegated color pattern, it'll make a pattern for you. So that's really handy. This is the very first scarf I ever made. Same idea here. This yarn had like 3 or 4 different colors in it, and as I went along it started to make stripes. It was great. If you use a softer material, a softer yarn, you get a softer scarf. This is a very fluffy, light and airy scarf, very feminine, and also I made one for little kids. So depending on the yarn you use, you can have different types of scarves. So that's helpful. Okay, so here's how you switch colors. I'm going to switch from white to orange. So I just finished my last row, and I'm about to add another row, but the next row I'm going to add is orange. So I'm going to cut off the white like that. And now I don't need the white yarn. And I'm going to have my ball of orange. The best way to start this is to just, I'm going to wrap this around here to keep it out of the way. And I'm also actually going to kind of wrap the start of the orange one around here to keep it out of the way. And I just hold all the threads with my thumb, so they're out of the way. And then I'm going to just start wrapping, stay there. I'm just going to start wrapping the next row just like I would if it was still white, but I'm going from the back to the front to the back, all the way around. We have 1 row of white and 1 row of orange. Still holding all that extra stuff with my thumb. And you are going to yarn over just like you would a regular row. So we got white over orange now. Get over there. And most of the time in knitting, or loom knitting, or any kind of knitting, they'll say not to tie knots and to just weave in the ends. But because it's a scarf and no one will see the inside of a scarf, I actually do a tiny little knot between the 2 threads to help secure it. So I'll show you how I do that. Getting back to the last peg. Okay, everything's working. If we started another row right here, all the threads would tie on the outside of the scarf. You don't want that. So before I make the next row, I'm going to take these loose threads and get them off of here. I'm going to take these 2 starter threads and put them to the inside of the scarf. And this is our new color. That's the inside of the scarf. And I'm actually going to make a little knot right here on the inside. Pull it kind of snug. It actually seals up the hole that you left from the last row. There. And I actually just leave it here for a couple minutes, because yarn, after you tie a knot, a couple minutes later it starts to loosen. So I do a couple more rows, I tighten it one more time, and then I trim it. So I just tuck it inside the scarf for now, and I push everything down, and then I start the next row. And now we're completely into orange. Back, front, back, front. And the pattern that I'm doing with this scarf happens to be 10 of each color, 10 rows of each color. So here I'm back at the beginning. Now I'm going to do orange over orange. And you just keep going until you have 10 rows, and then I'm going to finish off this scarf, the last row being orange. So push that down. And this is, pretend there's a couple more rows, and then I'll come back. Tangle, hang on. And then I'll come back to these 2 that I tied on the inside. Make sure they're real tight. And then I'm just gonna trim the two, leave about like 1/4 inch, just a little bit of tail in there, and then they just float around inside the scarf. And as you can see, I've made color changes like that, and you can't see them between the stripes. So this is great for sport color scarves. Okay, so I'm going to make 8 more rows, and then I'm going to show you how to finish off this scarf. There's 2 ways to finish them off, actually, an easy way and a hard way. I'll show you both.